So today we are outside in the pool. Yeah, I have a beautiful backyard. I just wanted to acknowledge that. There's a swamp down there. And so we were just gonna start talking a little bit about spirituality, I guess, because I was just talking about my backyard. And two of my key, messages would be love and gratitude. I remember when I started at first allowing to feel gratitude. It was the greatest feeling in the world, and eventually your brain does become normalized to it, and it starts to become second nature. And yeah, you're not going to get the same dopamine rush from it because your brain is now used to it, but it's something to be really proud of, that you're now second nature is gratitude. I think of my body and I feel so much gratitude that I'm able to do so much. I'm able to swim, I'm able to do my yoga, I'm able to meditate, I'm able to go rollerblading, I'm able to walk. I'm able to walk. That's dope. This whole body, there's so many organs and they all function together so that you work. And it's just so much to be grateful for. So much to be grateful for. And then love. You really gotta love yourself and love the world and love everybody. I know that that's really hard and can be controversial as well, but I've had people do me wrong, and you don't have to. People always get this confused. Just because you have love doesn't mean you have to let them back. So if they come back, it doesn't mean that oh yeah, I forgive you. You can come back in my life. No, you can be done. You can say, I'm done with my journey with you, but I wish you the best. And that's the loving kindness, compassion, meditation, which helped me with my heart chakra, where you say, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be calm and at peace. It does help you generate more love, and then eventually you get to this point where I have borderline, and abandonment is a huge thing for me, and it always has been. And now I'm at this point where it's weird. It doesn't feel like it controls me as much because I love myself and I love them, and I'm grateful for the time I had with people, even if, I don't need them in my life anymore. Maybe even if we don't click anymore, if they don't. Some people have left my life because we just aren't on the same path, and I just don't, and I could get intuitive feelings. It wasn't the right friendship, and you just gotta listen to your intuition too. But with mental health, it can be difficult because they're so similar, and they're not similar, but they feel similar. That gut feeling, you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. And it could be your anxiety, but it could also be your intuition. And some people all talk about different ways you can know if it's your mental health or your intuition. I think the best, and what I've learned from my tarot and everything, is what comes out of a place of love. If it's, this person's gonna abandon me, that's what always happens. That's not at a place of love, that's your anxiety telling you that. But if it's, I'm grateful for this person, but I don't feel like they're meant to be on my path anymore, and I just feel like we just aren't clicking, then that's out of a place of love, that's your intuition. That's, at least for me, mind you, everybody's experience is different, but that has helped me a lot to be able to tell the difference between intuition and mental health. I'm in the pool. Oh, it's cold. Today's a beautiful day, so I thought, why not sit outside? I wasn't gonna make another video today because I was like, no, don't overdo it, but I honestly had so much fun, and it's like, I just love it, and I want to do it again. but it's not going to be like the ODSP video, because the ODSP video I had like research done, I spent like a while working on that, whereas the next ones are just going to be stuff like this. And every Monday I want to do meditations from the DBT workbook then. So you can expect that Mondays. So yeah. And then there's of course is so many other plans for this account. This is, you know, something I plan to work on for years. I eventually want to do yoga videos and my own meditations. I need to do more schooling and stuff on that, and more training, which is the plan. So about me, beyond my mental illness, because we are so much more than our mental illness. We are so much more than, even if you have a personality disorder, you are so much more than that. My personal path has so far been school, has been a huge one for me. A big accomplishment. I don't like saying I'm smart, but like I did do well in school, got 90s. My average was like a 93, 94. I got tons of scholarships for my average, so I owe nothing for my first year, and I already have $3,000 saved up for next year. So yeah, school is a huge one for me. I'm in school for psychology, and I'm doing my minor in religion studies. I plan to get a master's in social work and a master's in religion studies as well. There's a program I want to do that's a year program at the current school that I'm at, so I'm going to do that. And then once all that's settled in, and I want to go to Bali in India and do a yoga teacher training there and get certified there, and then start doing yoga. So what can you expect with this channel right now? Honestly, a huge inspiration of mine and a huge idol of mine, and somebody that I honestly look up to as a mentor, is Hitomi on Twitter. I honestly love her. Her videos have changed my life so much. And a big thing she always says is about not to just idolize these people, but to live by them. And I've really done that, and I've taken what resonates and what doesn't, and honestly so much resonates. But she's I love her, honestly, and she's a huge icon in my brain. So you can expect kind of videos like that, because honestly I always kept looking online on YouTube, and I was like, I want more people like Tomi. I need more people that radiate that energy and have that video, and I was like, why not do it? So yeah, this is gonna be I'm very much inspired by Hitomi, and she has been a huge icon, or a huge role model in my life on this path. And you can expect in the future, and then there's the near future and then distant future. Distant future, I really want to write poetry books, and I would also like to write a horror novel. I've been working on one for a few years. I kind of stopped for a few years though, but I really loved the idea I had, and I have it all set up. It's not done yet, but the setup is all there for me to give it to an editor, get it published eventually. So those are some long-term goals. Short-term, what you can expect is urban exploration videos. You probably didn't expect that with, the spirituality, the peace and light, all of that. But I absolutely love abandoned places. Urban exploration is just, honestly, it's changed my life. It's saved my life. We can talk more about that. That's another video idea. But yeah, that's something you can also expect in the future. I have a big one planned for this summer that I've been wanting to do for years now. It's a huge hike out there, but I'm super excited. Yeah, I will never share the names of places because too many people vandalize, and that's just not okay. But yeah, and so yeah. Another thing you can expect in the future, and then there's the near future and then distant future. Distant future, I really want to write poetry books, and I would also like to write a horror novel. I've been working on one for a few years. I kind of stopped for a few years though, but I really loved the idea I had, and I had it all set up. It's not done yet, but the setup is all there for me to give it to an editor, get it published eventually. So those are some long-term goals. Short-term, what you can expect is urban exploration videos. You probably didn't expect that with, spirituality, peace and light, all of that. But I absolutely love abandoned places. Urban exploration is just, honestly, it's changed my life. It's saved my life. We can talk more about that. That's another video idea. But yeah, that's something you can also expect in the future. I have a big one planned for this summer that I've been wanting to do for years now. And it's a huge hike out there, but I'm super excited. Yeah, I will never share the names of places because too many people vandalize, and that's just not okay. But yeah, and so yeah. Oh. So I honestly always have wanted to have this talk, and I just didn't. My 3-minute videos don't do well on TikTok, so I always just wanted to talk about this. So a lot of people wonder about the spirituality and urban exploring, because they're like, most people when they like taunt ghosts, they do a lot of disrespectful things, and that's something I'm very big on, is respect, especially depending on the location. If there are people there that suffered, I'm always respectful. I personally really like asylums because they're a time where I can sit and feel the pain that all of the people before me experienced. Because I know I would have ended up in an asylum if I had been born years earlier, or like a long time earlier. So I sometimes sit with that pain and that suffering, to acknowledge how, even though the hospital systems aren't great now, that I'm at least not there, and that they struggled for the system to get where it is. That's a big thing. I go to a lot of asylums and mental institutions, and that's a big part of why I do all that, is to feel that pain and to be grateful and to acknowledge them and the suffering they went through. And I love the scenery of seeing, the world take over and nature do its job. To me, it's one of the most beautiful things, seeing dilapidated buildings. I've been to hospitals, I've been on a helicopter pad, which is one of the coolest experiences. I've been to a lot of places, and that's a big part, is just be respectful. So I was just eating. It's been a second since I last recorded. I've just been chilling outside. My friend came out. We were talking for a while. But yes, now I'm chilling again. And essentially what I thought I was eating. So I was like, oh, I should talk about food and my relationship with food and, my plans for the future. So I do plan to make food videos in the future, talking about food. I plan to talk to a nutritionist specializes in eating disorders pretty soon, and get more information on that. And I love to share my experience, so I will share all of that stuff with you guys and what I learned. And yes, I'm gonna be learning a lot about foods and stuff. That's my goal right now. And to essentially start working on my relationship with food. So usually I wouldn't eat all day and then maybe eat something at night or eat dinner, and then that's all. Or my medications make me hungry, my ones that I take at night, so I eat a lot at night. So that's how my diet used to be. Now I'm trying to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and have snacks. And I'm trying to heal that relationship. And a part of healing it for me, and everybody is different, is going kind of vegan. Sometimes I still have my moments where I'll drink milk and cookies because it hits different. Or I'll have ice cream because it hits different. But I am working. I also don't have a lot of money too. So I live in a house where a lot of people eat meat, so I have to sometimes eat meat. But I'm kind of vegan because whenever I buy and cook for myself, which is, the majority of the time, it's all vegan. Vegan cheese, everything like that. I'm also, and that's how I realized that I had actually a really big problem with my lactose intolerance, was because I started eating all that stuff that's dairy-free and all that, and I realized how much better I felt. And I was like, okay, So now I'm going to get that test done so that I can get more money from ODSP, because milk and any type of ice cream and stuff like that, it physically makes me feel horrible. So that's why it's one of those things. Even my mom's lactose intolerant, and she'll still eat stuff that's not good for her, but you suffer the consequences. And it sucks. But yeah. So I'll make future videos about food, my food journey. Right now, I'm not at a point where I could really share because I'm not eating enough. I eat very small portions, which is an improvement, and that's all that matters. But there's still more that needs to be done, and I'm not at a point where I should be sharing, because I don't eat a lot yet. I tried to calorie track, and I realized I couldn't, because it just stressed me. It made me go back into that habit of wanting to only have like 300 a day, and I was like, okay, no, I can't. But I know that I'm not getting enough calories, and I need to work on that. But yeah, it's better than eating nothing. So I'm making improvements. We didn't get an eating disorder in one day. Growth doesn't happen in one day. We're not going to solve it and become, have a healthy relationship with food in one day. We didn't have a bad one with food in one day. It's progressed. So that's how healing works too. So I was going to sit outside and read for a bit. I think this is just going to be like a welcome to the channel, kind of sit with me outside kind of video. But I wanted to share books that I'm currently reading and just some information on books I'm reading and stuff I've learned. So, I have a whole bunch of books. I read a lot of books at the same time. Because that's a skill you learn with university. You have to keep track of multiple things at the same time. So each book has a different thing. So I've learned to keep track of multiple things at the same time. So I'm going to share. So I'm reading The Power of Now, which I showed in my video, my ODSP video. I like to slowly work through books like this, certain books, especially books like this. I have a really bad problem with not living in the present moment, and I really want to work on it and focus on it. So I'm taking this book very slow. So every little section, I like emotion, the body's reaction to your mind. He'll then have 2 or 3 questions that he answers. And I'll read that for the day and then leave it. And that's something I learned from Hitomi. One of her videos, at least that I took it as, is like, take it slowly, read it, and implement those skills in your life, and then keep going. Like, follow with it. So every day I think about the 2 questions they answered and whatever stuck that I read that day. Then I have a poetry book, Pillow Talk. It's not the kind of poetry you would have to read in like a university class, but it is nice. It is cute. I like the way it just goes. I like the what's it called? The table of contents. Because it's like if you're sad, if you're lonely, you know, if you need a reason to stay. It's cute. It's cute. Then I'm also reading Kite Runner. This is a book here that we have to read in high school. But because I was in advanced placement English in grade 11 and 12, I didn't read it. And I was like, I have the book, so why not read it? So I've been reading it and going through it. Because it's written by a POC author and talks about, you know, the struggles in Afghanistan. So I was like, perfect. Let's read it. And it's actually really nice to read a book that you would have once had to like analyze so intensely and worry about marks and just get to enjoy it. So I really recommend doing that if you have that option. Then I also like to have a research book. This will probably stop with school once I'm back in school again, because I'll be having multiple research books to read every day. But currently I'm reading Braiding Sweetgrass, and it's Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. Yes. I wanted to talk a bit too about this. People can change, is first of all what I wanted to say. It does take work, and one of the first steps is educating yourself and learning. I used to be offensive as shit in high school, and I hate the jokes I made. I'm not that person. I've healed so much, grown so much, and now I just want to help others. I just want to learn about it, learn as much as I can, be respectful, and understand them and fight for them and do all that. So one of the things I do is reading. So I at one point was like, no, residential schools weren't a genocide. And then all these bodies were found and are continuing to be found. And now I'm like, well, it's my duty to be one of the first people that says, nope, don't do Canada Day. Nope. Residential schools were a genocide, and I feel like it's my job, because I once didn't believe it was, and I feel like it's now my duty to spread that information. But yeah, I'm gonna read it right now because I like to read. A bit of the power. I read parts of the Power Now, which I already read my points for today. And then now I'm gonna read some of my research book for today. So that chapter was just a lot, and it was so good. Oh, this book's really good. But I had 2 things I wanted to say real quick. The first thing I wanted to say was what I wanted to mention is that we a lot of the time simplify everything, and we think Indigenous people is just one. There are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons, thousands of tribes, probably millions. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're learning, whatever you read is, you know, about that tribe. It's not as simple as all Indigenous people. Nothing in life is that simple. That's a big thing I've learned. But yeah, just the mutual respect of like the earth and nature, and how the plants communicate to each other and signal stress and help, you know, the ones that are weaker survive and thrive. You know, all flourishing is mutual. So I'm gonna go hug a tree. Barefoot. Okay, here's the tree.